everybody, welcome to Archaeology Wednesday. I know it's been a few weeks, but we're back, and this week we're going to be talking about something very cool that happened right here at Spring Hill, partnered with the University of Akron, students and their professor, Maeve Marino. Ground penetrating radar is a machine. It basically looks like a baby stroller, and it has the machine on the underbelly of it. So you walk this stroller over the ground, it'll send radio waves down into the soil, and it'll bounce back up to the machine and tell the machine, okay, is there anything down there that is a different density than the surrounding soil? So that could be a brick, it could be a hole that was dug and later filled in, like a grave, a well, a post hole. It could be all sorts of things. But the ground penetrating radar can tell us where are these disturbances in the soil, what kind of density are we looking at, do we maybe know what material it could be. So we have 3 locations here on the site where we decided to run ground penetrating radar. We had some research questions that we wanted answered. So Professor Maeve Marino and her students from University of Akron came out, and they were so generous to run that ground penetrating radar in a couple sites and to get that data for us. So very exciting stuff. The ground penetrating radar is the way you set it up is that you determine the location of your site, number 1. Number 2, you're going to set up a grid. So you want to triangulate a perfect square, rectangle, whatever size you may want to be looking at. And then you're going to walk back and forth every so often. So you'll be walking literally like back and forth across this tiny area, back and forth, to get as much data as you can to get a most complete picture that you can of what that area looks like. So come with me, let's go ahead and see if we can take a look at some of these sites that we ran the radar on. And I'll talk about some of, the documentation, research questions that we might have had or what we might have thought was there. So come on, let's go. First site that we ran radar on, this is kind of a steep one, but I'm gonna move over so you can see. This is our first site right here, this flattened area that we have behind me. I think we did about a 10 by 20 meter area in this spot. We have photographs showing that there might have been a structure on this area at some point. So based off those photographs, we decided we wanted to take a better look at it. So this was our first site of running ground penetrating radar. The students were pretty awesome. They went up and down this hill side to side many times. So it was definitely a lot of work for this site, but they were champs and they got us an amazing picture of the fact that there might have been something in this area at some point. Now I do want to say, as you're running the radar, it doesn't look like you'd expect. It's not a clear picture of what's under the ground. It looks like almost, I want to say, like the heartbeat, like a little blip on a straight line on areas where there may be something. You're looking at different depths of the soil. But once you get all that data, you can put it into the computer and that'll show you sort of a better picture of what you might be looking at. Now, again, it's not clear like the show NCIS where they run ground penetrating radar over a burial and see all the bones in place. No, it doesn't show you things like that. It does show you, however, that there's different densities in a spot. It's not any way a clear picture. And I'm not sure if I said this already in the video, but things could happen where it's not what you expect. One time I ran ground penetrating radar at a different site. We saw something that looked like it could have been a well. And when we got down to it, it turned out to be a tree stump. So it's not always what you expect. It's not a clear picture. You can have ideas and theories of what it might be, but until you get down to it, you're not always sure. Okay, so I'm gonna move out of the way so you can see this full area. This right here is the second, well, I guess third site that we did ground penetrating radar on. So you can see over there, we have the doors that go to the underground area where the spring is, because this is the spring house. There would have been a building. You can sort of see here what it would have been, sort of the foundation of that. And then above would have been the building. Back there where all those flowers are, that is where our archaeology site, the midden, is. So we wanted to see, was there the structure also out here, or was it just back that way? We don't really have a whole lot of records about the spring house that tell us what it might have looked like. So we were curious. This is a smaller area, so it wasn't a whole lot to look at. but the professor, when she input all the data, she found that there was really not a whole lot out here. So very sad that we didn't get a whole lot of data, but very glad that we got to at least take a look to see was there anything of note out in this area. I wanted to stop for a second as we're walking out towards the site to show you the beautiful flowers we have coming in here. The spring is coming, so it is a little chilly, but quick intermission here for the flowers. Here we are, site number 3. I know this doesn't look like a whole lot, but it's very hard to see, but there's a nice indentation starting at this line of bricks, going all the way to about here in the soil. Now, you can't quite see it, I'll show you in a minute. There are tons of artifacts scattered around. You can see pieces of window glass there, here, they are all over. You can even see a nice chunk right about there. And we even have some door hinges laying around, pretty large, sizable ones. We wanted to see if there might have been a structure here of some sort, what's going on with that indentation. We have some vocal history from someone who used to grow up in the area here, saying that it could have been a chicken coop. We're not positive. Again, we thought we'd take a look. So the students ran the radar here. It's a pretty sizable area. I'll see if I can turn this camera a little bit. It goes all the way over to this tree, all the way over. That's an old jail that was not previously on the site. It was actually brought here. So we just wanted to see what was here. Unfortunately, the professor said that there was not a whole lot in this area either. So not a whole lot of ground disturbance in this area, unfortunately. But we do know there was something here. It had windows and it had a door. Could have just been an above ground structure. So let me show you some of the cool artifacts that are popping up at this location. So just walking along, you can see some window glass. It's probably pretty old. It's very thick. Let me pick up a piece just so you can see it here. See that nice piece of window glass? Tons of it. So definitely some windows around here. We have this line of bricks. Here we have a name on the bricks, Massillon S&FB Company, Massillon. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think this dated somewhere around 19th century, mid to late probably. I'd say later. So you can see all the glass. Here we have a pretty sizable hinge. It's a little, you got the stuff on the back side of that, and then further over this direction you have another hinge. Look at that. If you walk further this way, you've got some more artifacts sitting around. There's a nice spoon, William Rogers spoon. It's similar to some of the spoons that we have in the house. Gorgeous. We have a nice bottleneck shoulder. It's probably a little bit melted on this side, maybe exposed to a little bit of heat. So as you can see, just walking around the site, you know, there's a brick here and there, there's window glass, just some random things around. So definitely a site of some interest. Some cool artifacts popping up around, but this was our third site that we looked at. I mean, there's also some modern stuff mixed in. You have a propeller blade. We had some golf balls, but you know, very pretty site all in all. This is still an area that I would like to take a look at in the future. Thank you so much for joining me for this Archaeology Wednesday. I hope you all enjoyed going around to the different sites, learning about a little bit about ground penetrating radar, and seeing what the amazing students and professor from University of Akron could help us accomplish, or could accomplish themselves. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to follow us. We're always open for tours, so give us a call, send us an email, go through our website, take a look for a tour. And then also, just so you know, these sites are not the only sites we have on this location. We have photos and maps with many other structures that used to exist. This farm has changed immensely over the past couple hundred years that it was in use. So it changed with the different types of production that they were doing here, from cows, sheep, whatever they were doing. And it also changed with the many owners. So we still have a lot more to accomplish. So stay tuned and keep up with us through our Archaeology Wednesdays. Thank you. Happy Easter, everybody.